A possible bump on the road to recovery. There's more than 700 new coronavirus cases in the state. That's the biggest one-day increase in over a month. But the positive rate is steady. While Maryland is not seeing major outbreaks, the debate over sending kids back to school in the fall is a hot-button issue. And of course, we have team coverage. WJZ is live at the State Board of Education. Amy Kawada has what the Maryland Teachers Union wants to do. Amy.
Max, Maryland teachers unions are calling for at least 6 weeks of a virtual start to the upcoming 2020-21 school year. Right now, Maryland school administrators are facing tough choices about whether to reopen classrooms for the next school year. In a letter to the governor, the Maryland Teachers Union and PTA are calling for no in-person instruction for at least the first semester.
How many educators' lives are acceptable to be put at risk while testing if we can conduct in-person learning safely?
In Baltimore City, the union blasted the already poor building conditions and says the virus is an added overwhelming danger.
We prefer in-person teaching, but we also prefer our lives over everything. We prefer our students' lives over convenience.
In Howard County, which has the earliest scheduled starting date in August, the superintendent recently told lawmakers a majority of staff members surveyed do not feel safe. He says a virtual option would be available, and they're considering a hybrid of classroom and online instruction.
When asked how safe do you feel about your return to school for the fall across staff groups, over 5 in 10 respondents felt it was a little to not safe at all.
In an exclusive interview with CBS News, President Trump spoke about his push to reopen schools.
What do you tell parents and teachers who feel that it's unsafe to go back?
I would tell parents and teachers that you should find yourself a new person, whoever's in charge of that decision, because it's a terrible decision.
And over the weekend, Governor Larry Hogan said he will not be rushed into reopening schools here in Maryland. Live this morning, I'm Amy Kawada for WJZ.
Amy, thank you. Our team coverage continues on the issue of fall school plans. Rachel Menitoff breaks down the options the Baltimore County School Board talked about during an online meeting last night.
Baltimore County Public Schools says decisions with regard to when schools will open, how to open schools, and whether to continue remote learning will be condition-based and will not be based on a fixed timeline.
Our recovery and planning efforts are guided by both the governor's and the state superintendent's plans for recovery.
At Tuesday night's Board of Education meeting, School Superintendent Dr. Darrell Williams says he's leaning toward remote learning in the fall.
It may serve us better to lean towards a more virtual return. Understanding what we did during the initial closing won't be how we will start because of that feedback, but to have some kind of phase in.
The school district will decide between 3 options. Scenario 1 continues with virtual at-home instruction with certain improvements. Scenario 2 is a combination of at-home and in-person learning, which includes an A-day, B-day rotation or something similar. And scenario 3 is a return to school at 100% capacity. While some, including the teachers union, have expressed support for online-only classes in the fall, others say there's no better option than in-person instruction.
The kids really get a lot more out of school than just information being beamed at them, but interacting with one another and interacting with adults.
For the children's sake, I really, really, really hope that they open up schools.
The county says it will also take into consideration stakeholder feedback from students, parents, teachers, and community organizations, and it will officially publish its recovery plan no later than August 14th. Reporting in Baltimore County, I'm Rachel Menitoff for WJZ.
In the U.S., there's more than 3.4 million confirmed cases and 136,000 people have already died this morning. Infections are spiking in 39 states. In Florida, the president of one of the state's largest hospitals wants police and firefighters to help get people to wear masks and socially distance. Dr. Anthony Fauci spoke about a possible timeline for a coronavirus vaccine.
I think as we get into the year of 2021, the companies who are involved in making the vaccines promise that we'll have many doses to the tune of a couple of 100 million.
And Dr. Fauci goes on to say multiple companies are working together to make sure a vaccine gets mass produced and can be distributed throughout the world. Of course, one of those companies is Moderna. One is announcing promising results for a possible vaccine. They say its vaccine boosted volunteers' immune systems as they hoped. If phase 3 of the trial goes well and regulators give it final approval, Moderna says it will have as many as 1 billion doses next year.